Hey everyone, how's it going? These are crazy times we're going through right now, and you don't need to hear any more about it from me, so we're just gonna get right to it. If you're watching on my Patreon page, thanks for dropping by, greatly appreciated. I posted my very first online fiddle tune video tutorial just 2 days ago, and it's been so cool to see so many of you sign up and take it all in, and thanks for the wonderful feedback. If you're watching from YouTube, that's cool too. I just thought I would post a free demo experience of the tutorial just so you can get an idea of what to expect on my Patreon page. I talk enough about me and the style and everything in the first video, so let's just get right to it. The tune is Darla's Jig, and it's a jig in the key of G. Tune that was written by my talented father, Chaisson, and it was recorded by many people all over the place really, and it's a simple little jig, so it's if you're in beginner intermediate level, then it'll be great. Even for more advanced students, you can take in all the different characteristics and embellishments that I'm about to show you. So let's get started on some awkward split screen vibes of me playing the tune with myself and self-isolation. I always find it easier to learn the tune when I hear the shapes behind it, so hopefully this will help. Alright, we'll do a few quick terms, then we'll do the melody, some bowing and embellishments, and then if anyone is a guitar player or an accompanist, then we'll get to the mini guitar lesson at the very end of the class. The first one being a cut, and a cut consists of 3 notes on the same note, which is down, up, down on your bow. Slowly is quickly, that's a cut. A grace note is kind of a bit of an embellishment note with the note above your melody note. So if my melody note is C sharp, then my grace note comes in with my note above it. So that D note, so slowly that's quickly, that's a grace note. A drone is just playing an open string alongside of your melody note. So if my drone is my D, open D, and I'm playing melody on the A string, these are just some random notes, but then it'll kind of sound like this with your bow on both strings. A double stop is a 2-note chord. So if I have my B note and my G note, which is a first on A and a second on G, it gets a chord, it gets a G chord. So with your bow on both strings, it sounds like this. A hammer-on starts with a lower note and then your melody note. So you'll see this in the tune coming up, is my lower note being a B note, but my melody note is my D note. So it's kind of like you're kind of hammering on your, but that focus is on your D note as your melody note. Okay, so let's start with the melody, and I talk about this in the first video about learning by ear and really training your ear to work. Even if you've been told or you think that you can't learn by ear, it's definitely possible, although I do have the sheet music here if anyone's interested. We're going to start with repetition of the melody line by line and then piece it together. So the first line is D, D, E, D, which is 3rd on A, up that way. So again. And the second line, B, B, A, G, all that together. The third line, A, G, E, E. One more time. Fourth line is G, E, D. All of that together from the beginning. The last line is B, G, A, G, which is way down low. So all of that together is let's try that again. So that's the first time through, and then the second time through the A part, the only thing that is different is the very last line, and it goes B, G, G. So the last part is so it rests on the G. So let's try the whole A part together. Alright, so that's the whole A part. Let's try the B part. So the B part starts with a pickup note, which is your E note, and it's just an up bow to get you into the beginning of the B part. So the B part, first part, is D, E, G, which is and then A, G, G. All that together. The third line is E, A, A. Again. And then B, A, B. All of that together, your pickup note, and then it moves up to E, D, B, B. We'll get into grace notes after this. I know I'm playing them all the time right now, but again. And then just a quick A, B. So let's try that from the beginning again. So pickup note on your E with an up bow. And the last little bit is G, E, E, E. And then G, E. So that's one more time. One more time. So all of that together, pickup note on your then it actually repeats that all again, except at the very end, you just stop at the E. So, and it ends on the D note that gets you back into the beginning of the tune. So let's try the second part of the B part, which is again the exact same. And then a quick D at the end. So you basically repeat the first part that we just did before that like 3 times, and then that's the end, ends on the E note. So once you hear it, I'll repeat it, it'll make sense. So let's try the whole B part together, and I'll show you where it changes at the end. So and then that D note there is a pickup note to get you back into the tune. So let's try the whole tune together slowly in proper form, which is, you know, AABB style. So D4. Pick up. There you go. That's the whole tune with the melody. So now let's move into some bowing. So with bowing on the A part of this tune, there are a few different options. It's mostly down, up, down, up. One way to do it is until the very end on the B and G notes at the very end, that last line, you do 2 ups. And you might have noticed me do that before just as we were playing. So I'll just show you where I mean. So it's all down, up. We'll start on a down bow. Up, up. Again. Last part. Up, up. You got that? All right, and there's also another option when you get playing a little bit faster, and this has to do with bowing and a slur. So we'll move into a little bit of the embellishments as well on this part. So the very first line, the D, D, E to a D, we're going to do a drone and a slur and a 4th finger. So if you wanted to start with that, get your high D note there, 3rd on A, and your open D note together. And we're also, this is a lot of information all at once, so you can go back and listen. So it's going to be down, up, 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 down. So that's a drone. All of those notes can be on your D note. So a slur, I'm sure you probably know what a slur is. There's more than one note on the bow. So let's try that again. So down, up, 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 down. So you're droning your A and your D strings that whole time. So if we incorporate that bowing into the beginning, the whole A part looks like this. You can also drone those notes at the bottom as well. So on the B part of the tune, you can honestly just go up, down, up, down, up, down until the very end. When you get back into the beginning of the tune, your pickup note getting back in is an up bow. So let's just play it so you can see, but it is down, up the whole time. Like. Down, up, down. So that last E note, you just end up on an up bow, and then the D note to get you back into the beginning of the tune is an up bow as well, the pickup note. So let's try some grace notes, and I'll show you where the first good spot may be to do it. And like I said, everybody plays the tune different, and you can put your own spin on it, and just giving you examples of options that you can do. So those B notes, which are so if you remember what the grace note is, slowly, it's like your melody note with the next note up being like your flicker note, embellishment note. So slowly. So. Even a little quicker. So they're kind of two grace notes back to back there. You can also put one on the very last A note, which is. So just on your A note and your little embellishment with the next finger up. And then at the very end of the A part, you can do a embellishment note, grace note on your last G note, which is. And it's a little flick with your first finger. In the B part, we can do some grace notes on your B notes as well, which are. Those two B notes, and even on your E note there if you want to as well. Many places you can put them. Obviously you don't want to do it all the time, but just see where it feels right. And when you get playing the tune faster, they might not come around as often. The next embellishment that we can do in the B part is blend so we're going to drone our fourth on D with our open A string. So those two open A's that come here, right here. So we're going to blend your fourth on D with your pinky and your open A, so you're getting a. And those fourth fingers come really in handy in this style of music, obviously. So here. Try it again. right, that's basically everything that I would do in the tune, except for one cut that you can throw in. This is totally not necessary at all. But if you get playing quick, and cuts and jigs are really cool, and there's only one place that I would put a cut, and it's on those first B notes. So if I was playing it slowly, so the cut is the 3 notes together, and you have to add another B note just to make sure that it all adds up. So it's kind of like this. So a little slow again. And that fast sounds like. So fast, it makes much more sense to do. Obviously, you wouldn't play it slow. Sometimes I don't even do that cut, just giving you the option to throw it in there if it feels right. Okay, so now that we have all of the tools, let's try playing AABB slowly with some of the drones in there. And you don't have to play exactly the same as me. You'll feel it, and you'll notice where you want to do some grace notes and some slurs, and go from there. So let's try from the very beginning of the tune, nice and slow. A little faster. right, there you go. That's the whole tune. I hope that you enjoyed that and got something out of it. And stick around. I'm going to do a mini guitar accompaniment lesson with it after this. All right, guitar players, how you doing? Let's start with the A part of the tune. The chords to that are G, a B minor. Depending on how you play B minor, like I was saying in the first video, that could almost be like a B kind of sus chord there as well. It just depends on how hard of a chord you're looking for. And then we have a C chord and D. So it just rotates that, that chord structure. And you'll notice that when you wrap around to play the tune again, you kind of go C to your D a little quicker to rest on the G, like the melody of the tune that ends on the G note. The B part of the tune is G, A minor, B minor, C, which is A minor, B minor, C, and that wraps around a bunch of times as well. So just does that in repetition. Jig strumming is quite a thing, and there are many different ways to do it. We did real strumming on the first video. In the jigs, it's there are a few different options. The simplest option, if you're just starting with guitar, I'd recommend just doing a down up rhythm in that 6/8 timing, which is jiggity 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 jig. I mean, it's not the most exciting you know, rhythm for playing jigs. So if you're super comfortable with that, you can try another simpler one, which is just a down, down, up, down, up. So down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. And then kind of the most common one when, you know, jigs get kind of corking is, and this one is a little bit more complex. And not so natural for guitar players to play unless you kind of, you know, listening to trad music and playing trad music. But it's kind of more of a down, 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 up, down, which is down, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down. And that's kind of the rhythm that makes the tune kind of jump a little bit more. So faster, it's and then sometimes I put in palm mutes with a and that one changes all the time with palm mutes and stuff like that. So I just focus on the down, 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 up, down, down, and then work on that, and then you'll naturally kind of progress into different strums. So if I was to play that from the beginning, it would be G, E minor, C, D, G, E minor, C, D, G. And you'll notice some of the different shapes. I'm playing C sus rather than C. Doesn't matter, you can do whatever one feels most comfortable to you. The B part, G, A minor, B, C, G, A minor, B. Different shapes could be G, A minor to 7, E sus, C, like that. Many different options. Alright, I know this was really quick, but I hope it gave you an idea with the guitar.